So if I'm doing this to you.
You're not winking at me?
No, and I keep doing this because it's almost like.
I thought you were winking at me.
It's almost like when you get like hair. You know how, have you ever gotten like your bangs in your eye? Oh, yeah. And then you're like, well, that's why I keep doing this. My bangs are a little long, but it hurts very badly.
Hello. I'm strangely turned on.
Oh my. Oh
my God, Becky.
My gosh. Hello. And welcome to Tipsy Tales.
We're going to do ASMR. And we're just going to whisper the whole episode.
We're going to talk like this.
Yes. Let me just tell you, when I was researching for this episode, there was an actual ASMR.
I think there's a ASMR on about everything.
Yeah, there was. And I listened to the whole thing and it was painful.
That would be painful.
I couldn't.
No.
I couldn't do it.
It seems like it's extra powerful.
The wine or
the mic?
The mic?
Mic.
That one is extra powerful.
Is it? Yeah. It looks pretty because it's all clean and shiny.
We're probably going to have a guest in an upcoming episode. I'm going to buy a new microphone. I'm going to get one of those because that one is like...
Isn't it the same?
No, that's nice.
What?
It's a different one. This one's supposed to be better than that one.
Wait.
But when we were testing them out the other day, it was really, really good.
Oh, maybe I'll get one too then.
I was even thinking
we'll all have one. And these could be our backup mics in case something ever happens to our good mics.
Right?
Oh, these could be our travel mics.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to we don't have to keep loading and unloading mics.
When we travel.
I mean, because we go places all the time.
We get these brainstorms. We travel in our mind.
I know, but we're going to because listen, I put out a lot today in my shower to the universe.
Mm-hmm. Of the things that we want.
Yeah. There's going to be some good things in our future. I feel it.
Hopefully it's COVID slowing the fuck down.
Yeah.
Because 2020.
We're going to get our camper, our little Winnebago, and we are going to hit the road.
Yeah, we've talked about this. We talked about this week. We got really excited.
I'm still excited. I've been looking at them. First, I have to go rent something, and I have to take a mattress to Allie in Tucson and help her move to her little apartment in August.
Oh, she got an apartment. I'm going to move
Well, no, she got a house.
I feel like, okay, here. That's better.
It sounds better.
Yeah.
She got a house. Okay. Connor and Leslie lived in this cute little 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom. And then next door, they demolished this house that was next door. We were like, what are they doing? Oh, they're building a frat house. Great. And they built this giant house and these guys moved in and they were like the neighbors from hell. Allie's going to be moving into that house.
Nice.
Yeah. Weird how the world comes around because it's just a coinkydink. But, I don't believe in coinkydinks.
No, I know you don't.
So
I don't either.
It's pretty cool, though, that she's moving into that house because it's really walking distance. She doesn't have to worry about a parking pass. I liked it when Connor and Leslie lived there. And, it's all right. I mean, I really don't want her to be, walking at night because that's not safe there.
By the way, this is Tipsy Tales, where we talk about the paranormal and true crime. And I'm Alma.
I'm Carlene.
We also talk about everything in between.
Did we get carried away? That happened.
I just figured we're going to just start recording now.
Oh, okay.
Since we were on a roll. I always love that when you pull a Kleenex out of your cleavage. just so casually right now.
I like it when I pull Kleenex, lip gloss, and my keys out, and people are like, what else do you have in there? You don't want to know.
You have room to hide things. I do not.
Oh, that was hilarious. Yes, I don't even think about it.
I know you don't. So the last time you were here, when you left, it was pretty much a shit fest.
Oh, holy heck. You have to tell people about that. Wait a minute. Can I just say, first, I smelt it.
You smelt it. And I thought it was Shorty. I was like, oh, it's just Shorty. She farted. I couldn't smell anything because I had allergies that week.
I'm like, it smells like shit in here.
I'm like, no. And then I smelled my armpit and I was like, no.
It was shit.
We walked out because she was leaving for the night. It was really late at night.
Yeah.
And yeah.
There was a shit fest. not an exaggeration when we say the word shit fest. This is the definition of a shit fest.
And here was Carlene. Bloop, bloop, bloop. She's like, do you need help? Bloop. I can't. I'm leaving. Do you need help? Bloop.
It was, oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Everywhere.
I gotta go.
I gotta go. I did. I was like, sorry, gotta go. I felt so bad, but I couldn't stay.
Oh my God. So apparently, like, I found out after the fact that one of the dogs had gotten a lemon off the counter when, because remember Serena made us fajitas that night.
Oh yeah.
And she squeezed some lemon into the meat, and she left the lemon on the counter, and
that's what did it? The acid or something?
Yeah.
Or is it like poison to them? Obviously, it's like poison.
And so I looked it up, and apparently that's what it does to them. Gives them the shits.
Okay, that wasn't just that was like, how did that come out of one little dog?
I know. We didn't even know. We thought it was all the dogs.
Yeah.
We literally did.
It was on the floor, on the baby's thing.
On the couch. Yeah. Is that my hubby?
I don't know, because he's really quiet if it was.
I know. I didn't even hear him open the door.
No.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, really.
You guys will start recording it, right?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, okay.
We're done.
Just let you know the pizza's here.
Oh.
Oh, you ordered a foodie.
Should we jump right into it?
Let's do it. Let's just go. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go. Let's do it. Okay.
Do you know who put Bella in the Witch Elm?
Huh?
Do you know who put Bella in the Witch Elm?
Bella?
Bella.
In the Witch Elm?
The Witch Elm.
Huh.
You're going to find out.
Is that what your story's about? Hilarious.
Yep. We try.
Oh, fuck.
What? What?
It's me. Look.
You're the intruder?
In this one. But
Oh.
look. So look, you're going through, right? You're looking, it says, and you see a person, but you're not expecting a person.
Who is that?
Yeah.
It's you.
It's me.
That's hilarious.
It's me. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Okay.
Alrighty then.
Shut your fucking dogs up.
They're just like quack, 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 quack. I'm gonna text Albert.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Can you make them stop barking? Can you please make them stop barking?
They stopped.
Oh, all on their own. I think you just put something out there.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
They heard me. Oh, my eyes getting bludged up again. Okay.
All right. So that's my story.
Oh, well, that was a good story. Good job.
Now on to yours.
Have you heard of...
All right. We're going to get serious now.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're
I
gonna tell a
promise.
story.
We'll never be serious. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, we've been kind of serious the last few episodes.
I mean, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, kind of. Sometimes I feel like we're like beating people up when I'm listening.
We were professional telling our stories with some chuckles in the middle.
Some chuckles?
I'm going to have to pee again soon
Okay.
because we keep laughing.
Should I hurry up? Okay. All right. On April Day of 1943, deeper than
You're too hard on yourself. Like I think people are cool with us.
You think so?
Listen, who wouldn't be?
I
We're pretty
overanalyze
fucking
things.
fantabulous.
That is just my life. It's
You do.
It's part of.
You do.
It's part of who I am.
We kind of we don't want it always to be the same, and we don't always have to be on. We just need to be ourselves, and well, we're naturally fucking amazing.
We're naturally something.
Yeah, I don't know who'd want. You know what I was thinking about? That people that are going to come to, like, I'll tell people, if you want to get to know me, feel comfortable. I have this podcast you could listen to. That could be a really stupid thing to do because
Like, this lady is not serious at all.
I am not going to go and have her bring through loved ones for me when she's talking about farting on the air.
I don't know. That to me, that's a perfect.
Hey, most people love it.
Alrighty. We need to get serious.
Okay. Mom.
Well, at least let's just get on with the show.
Let's just do this for the whole show.
Let's do this.
All
Let's just talk like this.
All right.
Like this.
All right.
All right.
Like that.
Okay.
One, like that.
I don't like chocolate like this.
I'm going to do myself like that. I'm going to do the show like this.
You want to know, put Bella in the witch.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Who put Bella in the Witch Helm?
Well, it's actually Witch Elm. I don't know why I kept saying Witch Helm.
Because it's spelled that way.
Well, I kept, in my mind, I kept saying it in my mind, Witch Helm, but it's Witch Elm. Like elm tree. Like elm tree.
Well, why do you have an H right there?
Because I just left it.
Oh.
Stop reading my paper.
Okay.
I didn't go here. Look. Do you feel better? I'm gonna go like this.
Okay.
All right.
Who put Bella in the Witch Elm? Who put Bella in the Witch Elm?
It's Sunday. It's not Friday. You know, I think on Friday sometimes we're just a little tired by the end of the day. And right now we're kind of like getting toasted a little.
How many have you had? A few?
I don't know because I just keep refilling it. So I can't count them. You know, it gets down to right here and then I just put some more in it.
See, mine's just big gulp size, so nobody knows really. I don't know. How much have you had? One? Just one.
Let me get to one because you're gonna love this.
Okay.
You are gonna love this. I've been so excited to share this story with you.
You have been. She's texted me.
This is like one of those stories where you're just like, this is why we do this show.
Oh my gosh.
Because these are the ones that get me excited. Get me so excited.
So excited about murder.
Yeah, I guess.
Is it murder?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So in April.
So excited.
In 1943.
Ooh.
Deep in the West Midland County of Worcestershire in Hagley Wood, a part of the Hagley estate belonging to Lord Cobham, 4 boys, Robert Hart, Thomas Willits, Bob Farmer, and Fred Payne, they're out birding.
They're what?
They're looking for bird eggs. Because
okay.
1943, it's in the middle of World War II. There's rationing, you know, families don't have a lot of food. So this was a popular thing where they would go out and look for food. And they were basically trespassing.
There's 4 guys.
4 boys, 4 teenage boys.
Okay.
So they're out in a part of Hagley Wood, a place where they're obviously not supposed to be, on private property, and they come upon this large, spidery witch elm.
Wait, what's a witch elm?
It's a tree.
Okay.
But
it's an elm tree.
Yeah, basically. And Bob Farmer, as boys do, decides that he's going to climb up to see if he can find a bird's nest because it looks like the perfect place to find a bird's nest.
Right.
And it wasn't a bird's nest that he spots in there.
No.
It's the bleach white bones of a skull buried in the hollow tree of the trunk of the tree.
What?
Yeah. They thought it was bones of an animal, and the boys, being boys, they pull it out and examine it. And imagine their horror when they realize it wasn't an animal skull, but a human skull with a matted patch of flesh above the left temple with a clump of hair.
So it wasn't completely dried up yet.
I'd say it was like probably 95% of the way. Yeah.
Still, it's that last little 5%.
Or
10% that's
so
like... Ugh.
They freak out.
Yeah.
And they're trespassing, and they decide they're going to make a pact that they're not going to tell anybody. They get a stick. They find some material in the tree. They wrap it on the end of the stick. They shove it in the mouth of the skull, and they put it carefully back into the witch elm where they found it.
Okay. All right.
They go home, and they have this pact.
I mean, they didn't kill it.
Yeah. And then Thomas Willits, who's the youngest of them, his conscience just gets to him. He's just like, I can't deal with this. And he ends up telling his parents that night. That pact didn't last long.
I mean, I'm glad, but yeah.
Yeah. So then the next morning, his father lets the authorities know, and they're out searching the area. They find the skull and the remains of a woman. And those remains were so tightly wedged into the tree, they have to get a lumberjack to come and like basically cut into the tree so they can get her out.
How did she end up in the tree like that?
That's the question, and that's the mystery, and that's the enigma that we are going to try and unravel.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Or
yeah, it's kind of
the Twilight Zone.
So anyways, along with the remains, they find scraps of clothing that incidentally have the labels cut out.
Oh.
battered
interesting.
shoes. Actually, I think it was one shoe and a gold ring. And
Like a wedding ring?
yeah. And in the skull's mouth, they find a wadded piece of taffeta, which, okay, so I'm going back and forth between all these different, like, YouTubes and actually a documentary.
Oh, wow.
That
That's
is called
interesting.
Who Put Ella in the Witch Helm?
Yeah.
And it's by Jane Harris, which I guess she's a paranormal investigator in the UK. In all of them, this wadded piece of, depending on what you're reading too, like it never really, you're never really sure whether this wadded piece of material in the mouth is part of that wadded piece of material that they stuck on the end of that stick to put her.
So that was my first thought.
Yeah. So I'm never really clear on that.
Interesting.
And some of the theories are that it was that piece of material.
Yeah. Or is it something that was jammed in her mouth when she was killed?
Exactly.
If she was killed. I don't know.
And that's another thought.
Maybe she was climbing the tree and died up there.
Well, it wasn't a very big tree either.
Oh.
But it was an old witch elm, and it was already like rotting and hollowed out in the middle.
I'm a visual. I got to pull up Witch Elm because I got to see what
Well,
it
you got to
looks
pull
like.
up this witch elm.
Okay.
Just pull up the story and just start scrolling through the pictures, and you're going to see it. And for you guys
What's
who
the
need
title of
visuals,
it?
I'm also going to put it on our website. So, you know, as you're listening to us, you can log into tipsy-tales.com
Oh, good one.
and you'll see it.
What's the title of it again?
Who Put Bella in the Witch Elm?
That's right.
Not only,
I found it. Oh, it's witch, like
Witch.
W-I-C-H.
well, in some spellings it's W-I-T-C-H, and some of them it's W-Y-C-H.
W-Y-C-H.
So, yeah, it's
Oh,
got,
that's
there's different
interesting.
spellings.
Again, that's why we're so... oh, yeah, see, and then on her. The W-I-T-C-H. Interesting. I mean, that's why I like pulling up a lot of different things and making sure, like how we were talking earlier, like going to different sources because you get so many different kinds of stories and the stories change. And you want to, for me and for you, I think we want to make sure we get the most accurate.
Just the gist of it.
Yeah.
Like the most, what seems to be like the consensus.
Right. Okay.
So another weird thing is the remains that were in the tree were missing a hand.
What?
But they find it just like yards away
No.
or meters away, like depending on where you're from.
Oh, kind of reminds me of like, what are those trees here that we get those beetles from
I don't know.
that drop the beans?
I can't think of the name
What
of it.
is wrong with me? Palo Verde.
No.
That's what that one looked like.
Oh yeah, that one looks like it, but you got to find the actual one because it
not
looks
on
more.
there.
It's weird. Like it's spidery. Like in the description, looks spidery.
Oh,
She just saw the matted.
that was a surprise.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, there's this hand. She's missing a hand, but they find it not too far from her body. So when
So
the
on
bones
the
are
grounds, they find it.
yeah, when the bones were later examined, and that's like plays into the theories that come after the fact. So when the bones were later examined in the West Midlands Forensic Science Laboratory by Professor James Webster, they deduced that she had died approximately 18 months prior, and she was about 35 years old with mousy brown hair. She was at least 5 foot tall and had possibly given birth at some point.
Oh no.
Also, the most notable feature were her regular teeth, which protruded in the front. That's it.
Oh wow. I was not even picturing
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's bizarre. All right.
So in the middle of that, somebody
Stuffed
found the
her.
hollow in the middle of that.
That is insane.
So you guys, again, go to the website, look at the picture. All
Oh,
right.
Did you see
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, I don't think that's an actual picture though. I think that's somebody's
Interpretation of it.
interpretation. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm so shocked. I feel
She's like
I'm-
scrolling through pictures
I
right
feel
now.
like I'm watching a movie.
Okay, so her most notable feature were her regular teeth. So they end up like going to all the dentists in the UK
Yeah.
and like running these teeth by them and trying to, match her identity in that way.
Wait,
and
is that her?
I'll get to it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. I thought it was her, and I was going to ask you about her teeth on there. Okay.
But yeah, those are her teeth.
Okay. I'll stop so that I can finish listening, and I'll go back as you tell me stuff. Go ahead.
So she also had a tooth pulled at some point too. So that they used that for the dental records and stuff.
Okay.
And they weren't able to match it. No dentist in the UK came forward.
What?
They published it in a dental journal in the UK at the time, and nothing.
Maybe she never
Nobody.
went to the dentist?
Well, she did because she did have a tooth pulled.
Yeah, but
And
maybe she
but
pulled
nobody.
it herself.
Yeah, so that was part of the mystery.
Huh.
Oh, well, that's true. She could have pulled it herself,
Yeah.
but maybe they deduced that the way it was pulled had to have been a dentist.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I have no idea. So he also came to the conclusion, this professor, sorry guys, the whiskey is finally talking. Professor James Webster, who was part of the West Midlands Forensic Science Laboratory, deduced that she had died of I'm going to try and get this out. Asphyxiation. I'm glad I actually pronounced Worcestershire.
I was going to say something. See, we
I
jinxed
can't do it now.
No, I was going to say something.
Worcestershire.
Yeah.
Worcestershire.
That's impressive.
I practiced it.
I would have done
It's very hard to read it
Worcestershire.
and not want to like enunciate everything.
Yeah.
All right. She most likely died of asphyxiation because there had been no trauma to her bones and because of the taffeta that had been found in her mouth.
Oh, those kids, darn it.
Yeah, so we'll never know.
Yeah.
Also that her body had most likely still been warm when she was stuffed into the hollow trunk because if rigor mortis had already set in, there's no way they would have fit her in there.
Oh, yeah.
They wouldn't have been able
stiff.
to. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? It gets crazier
It's
because
really
you got to
crazy.
hear all the theories. The theories are wild. The theories are wild. Okay. So also with the pieces of clothing found, they were also able to piece together the outfit she had been wearing at the time of death. The clothing was of poor quality. A brown skirt, a peach petticoat, brown knitted cardigan, a cheap gold wedding ring. I like how they're like a just cheap gold
cheap
wedding.
gold.
Her hair had never been artificially colored or permed.
Mm.
So basically a modest, unremarkable woman who in Britain during that time could be anyone because everybody, it was the war,
like wartime,
everybody
yeah.
was rationing. People had to like cut back on all the,
Like where we are now?
well, yeah,
Have you seen
maybe
my
a little
break?
bit worse.
Yeah, worse,
I mean,
I'm sure.
if we were out looking for eggs, I think that would be pretty desperate.
Yeah, I'd say worse than us, but
Despite the identification and a sketch of the clothing, an artist's impression of the woman, no one came forward to claim her, and the police they published her picture in all the newspapers and stuff.
How
and nobody,
sad.
Yeah, so nobody comes forward to identify her. Dental records in Britain were searched, like I said, and nothing. And not only that, I mean, we're in 1943, and it was possibly like 1941 when this happened.
That's
So,
true.
the UK was getting bombed, with frequency in that area. It was also getting bombed. So there was a lot of missing people and a lot of missing women. So they had an uphill battle, pretty much. The area had suffered 3 years of Luftwaffe bombing, and life was hard.
Of what?
Luftwaffe. Luftwaffe?
What's
Luftwaffe?
that? I've never heard of
The
that.
German.
Oh, okay. Never heard of it like that.
Luftwaffe.
Have you ever heard it like that?
I've heard the word before,
I haven't.
like watching World War II documentaries.
Oh, you're one of those.
I'm one of those. I'm one of those. Almost 6 months later, around Christmas, someone graffitied a cryptic message in chalk on a wall in large capital block letters. Who put Lubella down the Witch Elms, witch spelled W-Y-C-H, and then Elm, and then dash Hagley Wood. Several other messages followed around the West Midlands, and I think even before this, there was another one. Oh, no, this one was that. Sorry. It was the Lubella. Several other messages followed around the West Midlands area, all some variation of the same message, and also seemed to be written in the same hand. Soon it was shortened to Who Put Bella Down the Witch Elm.
Really?
Yeah.
All from somebody probably some kids.
So, that to be the work of a hoaxer, it did give the impression that someone knew something about the unknown woman, but now they gave her a name. So now she became known as Bella, whether that was her name or not.
Oh, that just hit me. I forgot. Yeah. So they didn't have an ID on her, so nobody knew her name.
Right. So now all of a sudden she took on this
Bella.
Whether that was her name or not, or if they were a hoaxer, somebody was, playing a sick joke or what. But it was happening over and over and over again. Like these messages, like
Could have been
cryptically
the murder.
scrawled. Yeah, could be. All right. So now let's get to these crazy theories.
Okay, go.
The first theory was an occult theory. Anthropologist and Egyptologist Margaret Murray suggested that she may have been killed in an occult ceremony. She claimed that the removal of her hand signified an occult practice called the Hand of Glory. She claimed that the hand of someone that had been hanged for their crimes could be severed, and the rendered fat from the corpse could be used as a candle. So it would, like, basically they'd put it in the palm of the hand, and they'd use this to render motionless all persons to whom it was presented, so they could use it, like, to have powers over a person. Also, there was another theory. So that's just like a way out there theory.
Yeah, I don't know if I go for that one.
And also the fact, you think about the fact that they're small animals, like her hand could have actually been attached to her body, and the animals could have, like, carried her bones. Yeah, carried her bones out.
Oh, a hand.
Yeah.
Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, it's weird. So then also there was another theory out there that she had fallen victim to a coven of witches in the area. Another legend says that you can bury a witch in a tree, and the roots of the tree would keep the witch's spirit in prison, especially a witch helm tree, which, like, had a...
Interesting.
So that one was interesting to me.
Yeah.
It was more likely that scavenging animals had removed her bones, and it was really just her hand, but other bones were found scattered in the surrounding area. Like other, like, bits and pieces of bones. Like,
yeah.
One of these documentaries was I think it might have been that Who Put Bella in the Witch Helm, which is on Prime if you want to watch it.
Okay, I will.
And it's not something you have to buy. It comes with Prime. That they were paying local school kids to go scavenge the woods
to look for her bones.
To look for bones.
Get out.
Because
to put her together.
Because the war is raging and they have, like, a severe lack of manpower. So yeah, they're forced to use imagine doing that now. Like, that's contaminating the crime scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Not
Whiskey.
to mention the psycho damage that you're giving
these kids, right? Yeah, and they all remember it. It was one of the kids from this school, close by school. He was, like, giving an account of, like, yeah, they were paying us like 2 pence or something like that. Yeah, crazy.
That's crazy.
Man, these kids need the money. Their families need the money.
Yeah.
Also, there was another theory out there. Oh, wait, no. Okay. So then there's the spy theory.
Like she's a spy?
That she's a spy.
And then they got rid of her?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There's a couple of spy theories out there. Very intriguing. That she was possibly a Nazi spy.
Okay.
There was a shitload of paranoia going around during that time. The British government was distributing leaflets and posters that fed into this with slogans like tittle tattle, lost the battle, and loose lips might sink ships. So it's like basically, and then another one was talk less, you never know. So it's like anybody you're talking to could be a spy. You just never know. Just keep your mouth shut. So, like, if you have a family member and you happen to know they're like, hey, we're here, or they're writing you letters of where they're at, just keep your mouth shut. Don't talk.
Wow.
Don't talk about anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Not to mention that hundreds of German spies had been captured in Britain during the war. So, think about that.
At that point, if she was, they probably wouldn't have, like, purposely disposed of her in a tree. They would have just tossed her in a tree.
Right? Or completely, like,
just left her.
Like, got rid of her, buried her somewhere.
Yeah.
Why in a tree?
Yeah,
in unknown woods. Like, that one.
That's just...
I don't know. But there's one of these spy theories that I really, like, it just, like, resonates with me. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like that might be the thing. So do you just listen and you be the judge. You guys be the judge. Okay. In 1953, journalist Wilfred Byford Jones, this is the one, received a letter signed as Anna of Claverley.
Oh.
So the letter says, finish your articles regarding the Witch Elm crime by all means. They are interesting to the readers, but you'll never solve the mystery. One person who could... One person who could give the answers is now beyond the jurisdiction of earthly courts. Much as I hate having to use a nom de plume, I think you would appreciate it if you knew me. The only clues that I can give you are that person responsible for the crime died insane in 1942, and the victim was Dutch and alive legally in England about 1941, which is around the time frame. I have no wish to recall anymore. Anna from Claverley.
What?
So the police follow up on this.
Okay.
And they find out.
She must want to talk about it if she's writing about it, for Pete's sake.
Right.
Okay.
So they find this chick. Her name's Una Mossop.
Oh.
She'd been married to a man named Jack Mossop in 1941, who was working in an ammunition depot in Coventry. He apparently, despite not having been in the RAF or the Royal Air Force, frequently sported a RAF uniform. So he just walked around in this uniform all the time, but he was never in the Royal Air Force.
Okay, that's not weird.
He visited his grandmother often with this Dutchman, but the grandmother didn't know who this person was. And his family was suspicious of the Dutchman and thought they were up to no good. So apparently it turns out that Jack had used his position in the ammunitions to pass on information to the Dutchman named Lorate, and who was in fact a Nazi contact, working as a go-between and selling Jack's information to a spy ring operating in the West Midlands. So this checks out.
This has a lot of detail, so I'm...
So gathering information about ammunition locations for Luftwaffe, Bella happened to be a Dutch woman who arrived in England. And this corresponds to another story as well. In 1941, and was somehow involved with the spy ring. Una told of how all of these details were part of a confession from Jack to her and his grandmother. Perhaps unwilling or simply unable to shoulder the guilt anymore, he then continued on and confessed to not only his activities with the German spy ring, but also to his role in the murder of a Dutch woman. And her statement reads as follows. March or April 1941, said he had been to Littleton Arms with Van Rate and the Dutch Peace, and she had gotten awkward and passed out. They'd been drinking.
Yeah,
so
okay.
She was fucked up.
I didn't say, did they drug her or...
No, she was fucked up. They went to a wood and stuck her in a hollow tree.
Oh.
Van Rate said she would come to her senses the following morning. According to him, she had still been alive when they left her.
They didn't intend for her to die. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. But in another story,
dun, dun, dun.
They were driving down a road and him and the Dutch woman were having a intense argument and it got physical and he knocks her out, kills her, and this guy, Jack, ends up helping drag her into the wood and stuffing her in a tree.
Okay. Well then.
So this, yeah.
Either way, it sounds like they're responsible.
Yeah. And this sounds like the most plausible.
Yeah. Yep.
He told his wife he had recurring nightmares of the woman in the tree staring up at him. He ended up having a nervous breakdown and died in a mental hospital in Stafford at 29 years of age. So MI5.
Only 29?
Yeah.
Jesus. How old was he when he committed this crime?
I have no idea.
Well,
apparently he was pretty young.
I mean, was it a crime?
Well, it sounds like it.
If she's a spy?
Well, I mean, does it matter if it's murder?
Back then, did it? I wonder.
It was enough to haunt him, so obviously it bothered his conscience.
It bothered him.
MI5 got involved and looked into it and were unable to verify details of the account. I was also reading that all the stuff was very secretive still back then because the war was still raging. So, of course, they were not going to say yes or no, this is what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another spy theory was posited some years later by Donald McCormick. He obtained Abwehr files. Don't ask me what that is. Records of German... Oh, I'm going to tell you. Records of German military intelligence. A Nazi agent by the name of Lehrer was operating in the Midlands in 1941, and he had a Dutch girlfriend living in Birmingham called Clarabella Dronkers.
Oh, is that where we're getting Bella?
Could be. Was Clarabella the Bella that was found in the Witch Elm, like Bella? She was about 30 years old, and like Bella, she apparently had crooked teeth.
Okay.
What's especially suggestive about the identification is that a real Nazi spy was captured in 1942 and executed at Wandsworth Prison on New Year's Eve that year. His name was Johannes Marinus Dronkers.
Oh, you. I'm glad
was
you're
she the
getting
Dutch
these names.
spy's wife? She did have a wedding ring on. Also, if she was Dutch, it would explain why they couldn't find dental records in Britain. Another spy story out there. So the spies,
it sounds
there's
like
so much intrigue.
Yeah, but the consensus is it sounds like she's Dutch. Like everybody's kind of going that she's Dutch. So they're right. The dental records wouldn't have come up in Britain.
Right. If she wasn't from.
Yeah, like London or somewhere.
Yeah. So there's another one.
Okay.
Yet another one. Is that of a Czech-born Gestapo agent, Joseph Jacobs. He's actually the last person that was ever executed in the Tower of London. He was captured parachuting into Cambridgeshire. I hope I just said that right. In 1941. On him was a picture of a young woman who happened to be a cabaret singer and a German movie star called Clara Bauerle.
What?
So, and people are like saying, well, maybe
Like,
they
so-
got it like Clara Bell.
Yeah.
Like-
So maybe they executed an innocent woman?
No, this woman's never found.
Oh,
According to Jacob, she was also a secret agent. She was a German cabaret
Oh.
singer and had worked Birmingham for several years before the war, and she had a convincing local accent, which would be perfect for if you're gonna try and recruit a spy. She'd have to have a great accent and be able to blend in. She was supposed to follow him to England. The theory is that she was the Clarabella from Anna's story. According to some reports, she had never been heard from again. And then somewhere else I was reading that she did turn up some years later, so that took her off the list of possibilities. But a lot of these stories are telling it as if she was never found again. So I don't know which one of those is true.
I don't know. I think the one before this sounds very probable, and this one.
Definitely not the witch coven.
No.
And the hand of glory.
No.
Okay. But this one, this Bowerly lady, she was very tall, and the person that they found was only 5 feet. All right. So another recent theory presented by author Keith Swallow, who was that Bella was a member of the traveling community, or basically
Like a gypsy?
A gypsy. And this area right here where she was found was, during that time, was popular for gypsy camps. He thinks that it's most likely that Bella was killed by her husband or a lover. The final theory, and I'm going to come back to this because there is a paranormal link to this whole thing, because as I'm like researching all this, of course people are going out there and they're like
doing the
EVPs
EVPs and stuff. Yeah.
And they got some EVPs, and they were also doing the
Spirit box.
the spirit box.
Yeah.
I'll come back to it and tell you. Remind me if I don't. All right. So the final theory out there is that she is a Birmingham prostitute called Bella that went missing, who just happened to frequent the Hagley Road area. Considering all the theories that are out there, you would think that now with the capabilities of modern forensics, they would be able to come up with some answers. However, it turns out that
I think it's hilarious that this dog sounds like a
snoring.
human.
she
When
is
it's
snoring.
hardcore. She's exhausted.
Sorry, guys. If you hear snoring, it's not us.
It's not a party.
Carlene is not falling asleep while I'm reading this.
No.
So yeah, it turns out that the remains and everything that went with them, including the coroner's report, have all disappeared into the ether.
What?
At some point, they were passed on to one of Professor Webster's colleagues at the University of Birmingham. When someone tried to recall them years later, after some serious searching, they were unable to find a single trace of the records. So some of the theories are that it was MI5 covering their tracks.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows?
This dog's hardcore right now.
Says a few interesting recent developments. The first being that they were able to do facial reconstruction, is what you found there, using the photographs of her skull. And of course, I'll include those photographs on the website because they're pretty cool. It's like an idea of what she may have looked like.
Interesting.
I saw some of those pictures of that Clara Bowerly, and she looks like a bleach blonde. And if this lady never had her hair dyed in any way, shape, or form, there's no way.
That doesn't be.
Yeah. More graffiti showed up in 2002 on a 200-year-old Witchbury obelisk saying, again, who put Bella in the Wych Elm?
Well, we know that that's probably just some jerk.
Yeah. Well, somebody keeps
renewing
on doing it. Yeah. So the question remains, who put Bella in the Wych Elm?
Oh my God. Did you see this?
And who was Bella?
revealed after 75 years the face of Bella in the Witch Elm. Are they talking about finding her skeleton or actually seeing her face?
Seeing her face, the facial reconstruction.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought maybe that was part of paranormal, like they can see her face.
So that's my story. What do you think?
I think it's pretty badass. That's a good one. It's a little different, and I like the theories. It's got you thinking, Hey, you guys, send us your theories.
Yeah, if you guys got theories. Okay, so I do want to tell you this.
Yeah.
So I was watching
paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was a few of those paranormal, like they were the ones on YouTube, whatever, and people going out there and they're getting these EVPs and whatever. And so this one kid, he's out there. I mean, he has probably a local accent and I can barely understand anything this kid is saying.
Did I burp?
No. Well,
Did I burp,
sure
yawn?
nobody's going to be able to tell with her snoring in the background.
I burped and yawned at the same time.
Wake up.
Oh, she's out. She's out. She's tired,
You're
girl.
just going to hear like...
Yeah, through our whole podcast.
Okay. So this kid, I wish I wrote it down because I was watching so many things. It was like the other day I wasn't feeling good at all. So I just kind of was like, all right, today's going to be a research day. So I'm watching this and he gets a lot of interesting words coming out of, he was doing.
She just did a fat man snore.
I know. She did. I definitely want to hear if that. I hear that in the background.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's
I had
okay.
to point it out. It was hilarious.
Because it wasn't us.
No.
We just burp in for it.
Yeah.
We don't snore.
Burp right into the mic.
So I watched that. I'll tell you what he captured in just a second. So I also watched this documentary that's on Prime, Hope of Bella in the Witch Helm. And at the end of it, so they go through the whole history and whatever. And then they do talk about the paranormal stuff. So there is a pub that's close called the Badger Set. And it's apparently haunted by Bella's ghost.
Okay, because Bella has nothing better to do.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And people report a figure of a woman walking in the woods. So that one's more plausible to me. And then this guy on this documentary, Ian Griffiths, his specialty, I guess, is remote viewing. So he starts like kind of setting up the scene. He's like, okay, he's never been there, according to them. And he starts setting up the scene like, okay, what I'm seeing is this, what I'm seeing is that. He's like, I see a church off in the distance. If you're looking in this direction, blah, blah, blah. So all of that seems to check out. He also says he thinks it's a traveler.
Oh, a gypsy, huh?
Yeah, he goes, I see this person holding her up against a tree, like
her husband
with his
her.
arm like kind of up on her neck and whatever. And he's like, and I see him and he's wearing some sort of head covering, like a hat or something. He's like, I think something like travelers wear. He's just saying what he's seeing.
I also think the theory about when you said being a like a check, I think that's something too.
So and then the interesting about that is this kid that I was telling you in this,
or like Romanian, something like that. Anyway, go ahead.
So this kid that has this YouTube, and he's out there and he's getting all these. He was doing EVPs and he was also doing the voice box or the spirit box, and he kept getting random stuff, but one of them was like, it was very clearly talking about Bella, and then said something about a hat.
What?
It kept on saying, it said it like a few times.
I'm literally getting chills right now.
Said something about a hat. So, and it's interesting to me that this guy picks up on the hat.
Yes,
that the
like
guy
the
is
guy.
wearing. So
she's trying to, but I'm sure her murderer's far, dead
right
by now.
Right. So I thought that was interesting. That's
super
pretty much what I took out of that.
That's super. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. So you should watch it. You guys should watch it. Tell us what you think.
Oh, I'm
Tell us your theories.
so going to watch it.
Yeah. Of course, I didn't really give you everything.
And then I'm going to be watching the little paranormal YouTubers.
Yeah.
I love watching them and laughing at them.
So definitely not the witch theory.
I think
that was the most implausible.
Yeah, that's not them. That was a really good story.
I like it.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Like it a lot. You need to take a break before you...
Sure do.
I know it.
You know it.
All right. We'll be back. And we're back.
We're back. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear your story because you're going in a direction you usually don't go.
I am.
According
I'm so
to
scared.
what you told me the other day. So I'm like,
I'm
been
so
super
scared.
eager to hear this.
Yeah. Oh, I got chills. See? I'm scared.
But I have sage right there. So
I wore my cross.
should we burn a candle?
No, I mean, I made sure I was surrounded with good things. And the more I did the story, for what I do for a living, you'd think I'd be more open, but it really makes you more skeptical.
Right.
So,
All right.
let's dive in,
Okay.
shall we?
Okay.
Okay, it's the Ammons.
Okay.
Oops.
My favorite part of listening back to podcasts
is me
you-
trying to pronounce things.
I do the same thing. Hey, I said
Ammons.
Worcestershire.
You
Never.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that.
Ammons.
Ammons.
Ammon's family haunting is how. Okay. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Okay. Okay. In my opinion, it's almost a carbon copy of like Amityville. Amityville?
So? Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's where my suspicions are like, okay, whatever.
Okay.
But I'll just go ahead and tell you. So in November 2011, LaToya Ammons, her mother, Rosa Campbell, and LaToya's 3 kids, I think it was a 7-year-old, 9-year-old boys, and a 12-year-old girl. They rent this house in Gary, Indiana.
Ooh.
Everything happens in Gary, Indiana.
I'm telling you, the Jackson 5.
Oh. My in-laws. Anyway, it's kind of in a shady area. It's not
Right.
like in the best neighborhood.
Okay.
And so, I give you the exact address. 3860 Cardina Street. In case you want to go by there.
Do a drive-by.
Yeah, Or it's not there anymore.
Oh, okay.
But I'll tell you. All right. Anyway, it's almost 100-year-old house. And so, yeah, they just moved in. And supposedly, days after they moved in, shit got real.
Really?
Real crazy. Okay.
Okay.
All right. They allegedly started seeing some weird things, hearing some weird things. So I'm just going to say this is allegedly
Okay.
the story. They claimed strange things were starting to stir up. And one of them was, you know how we were talking about the flies?
Right. Oh, yeah.
This is why I got freaked out, because it was right when I started this story that I started getting 2 fucking flies in my house. I'd kill them, get 2 more fucking flies in my house, kill them, get 2 more. Well, in this, you know how, like in those colder places, they have like the front area before you actually walk into the house.
Okay.
Okay, so that front area, like a front porch, but it's enclosed area, they were getting, they went out there and there were like hundreds of flies, just flies everywhere. Big, like the kind that land on horses.
Right.
I think they even describe them as horse flies. And that's what I'm thinking. I've never heard of actual horse flies. Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They're horse flies.
Yeah,
They're
they're
just big.
Fucking huge.
Yeah, big fat ones.
Fucking monster flies.
Which I've had a couple by my house recently.
Uh-huh.
Big fat fuckers. You're like, that's not a fly. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a fly.
Anyway, they're big and juicy.
Hey, McFly.
Which is a big juicy thing. You can make it and eat it as a meal. All right. Deep fry that bitch.
Somebody in the world probably has deep fried chocolate covered flies.
Yeah, they probably didn't deep fry it anymore. They probably put it in their air fryer. All right. Anyway, they kept killing. Just as they thought they got rid of all of them, then like they would reappear. So that's when they were like, something crazy's going on here.
Interesting.
Right?
Reminds me of Amityville. The flies.
Okay, see, I'm just saying, keep your ear on the story because it's not very creative. Okay, so now this is late 2011, so now we're moving into 2012. The house seemed to grow more active with the children seeing shadows. The mom they'd all see shadows.
Ooh.
And like, I guess there was like a shadowy figure. It looked like a man standing around. They would hear Rosa, the grandmother, hearing footsteps in the basement, like on the stairs and in the basement, and the doors creaking. And later, she would report to have witnessed a shadowy figure of a man pacing in the living room.
Interesting.
Crazy, right? And found large boot prints. There's like different stories about these boot prints.
Okay.
Like some say
Where?
they're in the basement. Some say they were in the living room, but they say they see these boot prints.
Okay. Like muddy prints or
They didn't say that either. I'm just assuming.
like in the dust?
Yeah, that's why I have this written somewhere, but I'm going to just say the basement is cement. There's
Okay.
only like a small portion under the stairs that is dirt.
Okay.
So I'll probably repeat that.
Okay.
Okay, so the grandmother also reports that she was choked by an unknown force. Okay.
Alrighty.
No room nor no one in the home was exempt. Okay. Just want to make sure it wasn't anything important. Okay. No one was exempt from the over 200 demons that occupy the house. That's what was said.
What?
Okay, so let me just tell you.
200 demons?
Apparently,
Okay.
apparently, at some point during the time of them being in this house, they got desperate and had someone like me come in. Actually, it said somewhere it said they had a couple people like me. And it doesn't sound like the people would actually go in the house because they feared it.
Right.
But they told them that there were 200 demons in the house.
Okay. Alrighty then.
I mean, I do this. This is my life. And I don't. But, okay. It's not my experience. So.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to go with it because when I first heard reading this story, I was really like, oh man, this is pretty scary. It's freaking me out. This could actually. And then I started researching more. And then I was remembering like Amityville, and there were things that were in common. And then I started watching the interviews. But we'll get there. Let me finish going because I don't want to take away from the scary.
Okay.
Okay.
You've already kind of killed it from me. But...
I know. I'm sorry. See, this is the problem with me doing what I do. I know. Well, I won't kill it for you because there are some, I mean, if it is true, there are some legit things, but there's some very unexplainable things. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Okay. So there were constant noises going on in the house, and it wasn't coming from the children. Well, it kind of was because the children were like not themselves.
Okay.
This is
They were
what
possessed?
I mean. Yeah, this is what I mean. Like it was like these evil spirits were using the kids.
Right.
It's said that the children would speak in aggressive ways with each other and often became violent with each other. Isn't that what kids do?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but...
The easiest way to explain it,
But...
Grandma would be like, you are possessed by the devil.
What devil's got you under their thumb? I've heard that. But their voices would change. So it wasn't like, I hate you, Billy Bob. It was, I hate you, Billy Bob.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And it was, it's time to die. Like that.
Okay, all right.
Did I scare you?
All right, yeah, you just like gave me goosebumps.
Did I get you back?
Yeah, you
Okay.
did.
Okay.
I wanted to just shrink under my under the table right now.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay. That's my devil voice.
That reminded me of that one UK story. I can't remember the name of it. It was like the little girl that was, what was the whole family? I'll look it up right now. I can't, honestly, on the top of my head, I can't remember it.
Okay, so at one point, the family, it said they had a family gathering at their house because a family member died. And at that point, See, and this is conflicting stories too. So I'm just going to tell you from the point of the grandmother was telling a story it's on the sheriff. You know how they have their video?
Right.
So the sheriff was videotaping this. The grandmother's standing in the kitchen and she's explaining. So I don't know. I know that they had a family gathering at some point and the family witnessed things. And then they were like, we're never coming back here. But at this one particular time, the grandmother is explaining and she's standing in the kitchen and she's like, I was standing right here in this doorway and all of a sudden, my grandson was physically thrown through the kitchen. His head hit the freezer, and then he was, bounced off, thrown onto the ground. Mm-hmm. And so he was thrown from like another room into the kitchen, into the freezer.
Right.
And then onto the ground.
Okay, that's
and so she like turned around and was like, what the hell just happened, basically? And he like doesn't remember any of it, but he like, I think when he like stood up for a second, he kind of was like his eyeballs bulging out and a weird grin on his face.
Right.
She kind of, she explains that one. And then, let me see, kitchen, grandson. I just want to make sure I get the story right. And then, the daughter, the 12-year-old, this one said that she was at a friend's house with a sleepover, and then another one said that it was at her house. I'm going to go with it was at her house.
Okay.
And a friend was staying the night, and there claims that she was levitating off the bed. Again, like, what's that?
The Enfield poltergeist. That was in the UK.
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's on her bed, floating above her bed, and then the family all prays, and once she's released, she doesn't remember any of it happening.
Okay.
So anyway, that's that. Despite hearing footsteps, whispering voices, and feeling strange in the basement, what's her name? LaToya and her mom decide to go ahead and put the washer and dryer down there.
All right.
The basement's haunted as hell, but let's go ahead and do our laundry down there anyway.
Maybe they didn't have a lot of choices, plumbing choices.
I
right?
had that in California. I had a spooky ass basement.
Ugh.
It's under the house. It was all dirt. So it was literally under the house. And then there wasn't any, I don't even know if you can consider it a basement. It was just like, because the house was kind of on stilts, because it was by the beach. And it was just like under the house. And then it had a door, they sealed it off and everything. So
I'm glad we don't have basements in Phoenix.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. It was scary every time I had to go down there and do laundry, even in the daytime. So, just saying. Anyway, the whole basement, like I said, was concrete floor, except for this small little place under the stairs. Probably as big as this table.
Okay.
Anyway, that's why they think that the house, that's where they think the most, like, all that activity's coming from, is that dirt area. The claim is that LaToya had a boyfriend who was abusive, and they think that he stirred something up down there, like went down there and did some rituals. Anyway, that's one of the claims.
Okay.
That she's no longer with this guy, but when
so he just was like,
there.
Okay, I'm gonna go do a ritual in your house, in your basement.
Well, I mean, I cleansed a house where the wife had no idea that her husband was stirring up shit.
Really?
In the garage, and he wasn't even doing it really knowingly. He was just opened a portal.
Witch or
no, I just think that his negative energy and his friends and stuff, they actually opened a portal in the garage
just by coming together, or they purposely did
I don't know if they
were playing with the Ouija board?
I don't know if it was like just their negative energy. I don't know if it was the topics that they spoke of. I don't know what it was, but when I went in there, it felt like somebody had done a ritual and opened a portal. That's where it was, and I knew the husband and exactly where it was, and it wasn't easy to close it, and it was scary. Yeah. Yeah. But that energy was messing with them bad. Like messing with their marriage, with their family, it was really freaky.
You might have to tell that story.
Crazy.
You might have to get permission.
Yeah. I haven't talked to them in a long time. She came to one of my circles and she looked totally different. Like a completely different
I feel like
being.
you could tell some stories.
I got some good ones. All right. The family was at a loss, negative energy, strange things happening. Oh, yes. Okay. So she does have a priest come. So that's what happens. She has a priest come, and the priest tells her to like anoint, do the oil. So they take olive oil and they anoint each other. Mm-hmm. And then, because really the priests don't really want to have much to do with this. They're just, the priest in the town, they're just not into giving her any time of day.
Okay.
So this one's like, he said, you need to anoint everybody. So then she like anointed the blind or the windows and all the entrances and everything. So, thinking that's going to do it. And they might have saged and stuff. But anyway, they blessed each other, blessed the house. Oh, and then they also said to bleach the house, to clean the house with bleach and ammonia. Never heard that before in my life.
Together?
I don't know.
You're trying to kill everybody?
Yeah. And I even wrote, what the hell? Are you dumb?
Hello.
You got kids in there? You're gonna kill the humans, not the ghosts. Like the ghosts don't give a shit if you put bleach and ammonia.
Wow.
They don't care.
Okay.
They're gonna be like,
great idea.
Smells good in here.
Maybe you should stick with
sage.
Or
Olive oil,
stick
you can
to
make
your
a salad
pulpit
with.
and not the whole demonology thing. Like,
no, I mean, I don't. But
no.
But okay, well, I'll mention this other part. I don't want to forget about it. So they turned to some clairvoyants who were the ones who told them of the 200 demons.
Okay.
They said, leave the house. The clairvoyants were like, get the hell out of there. But LaToya didn't have anywhere to go. She didn't have money to go anywhere, so she had to stay there. So downstairs, where the activity seems to come from, she put a table with some kind of holy statue, Bible, and sage. Oh, and then she went through the house doing some kind of Psalm 91, invoking God's protection. Okay. Listen, let me just tell you something. Don't do that shit by yourself, okay? When people are like, but I saged my house, but it's still doing this. I'm like, basically, if you get a thing of sage and you go around your house and sage, you're just blowing smoke around your house.
Purifying the air a little.
You're purifying the air. I mean, you're doing that, but you're not really getting rid of spirits. You need like when I go in, I don't really need to use sage, but I do sometimes.
As a tool.
But and it's not really me who's clearing your house. It's I'll just say higher source for listeners who don't call that energy the same as what I call it. But they are coming through and giving your house the blessing through me, getting rid of all that energy. And it's really the intent behind. So, it's like holding a Bible. You can hold a Bible all day long, but if you don't have the faith and the intent behind it.
Right.
So if you don't know what you're doing with sage, it's not going to do anything.
Right.
So the family was at a loss with all the negative energy and strange happenings, and they decided to turn to, I already said the priest, and but that they still continued with all the loud noise. It's almost like that just aggravates it.
Right.
So it gets more aggressive. So
especially if whatever you're doing to get rid of it, it has no power over it.
Right. So it's just like, is that what you think? Okay, fuck you. Now watch what I'm going to do.
Right.
Okay. So evidently, like, the kids had lost days of school and stuff. And, they're obviously not themselves. So, okay, some of these people were saying, like, the doctor came to their house, but how often does the doctor come to the house?
Not these days.
Right. So I read or watched or heard or whatever that she takes them to the doctor, and actually I think she took them. I think they actually saw some psychiatrists too, but I know they went to a doctor, and it kind of was like, you didn't get these kids to the emergency room, like this is above, because the kids were doing some weird ass shit in the doctor's office. That even when he was like, nope. Take them to the ER. This is above my pay grade.
Right.
So
you don't think that some of this was maybe like it was actually happening?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like some of this is wait.
Okay.
Because once they I'm just going to read this. Okay. Right. And the activity got crazy once again. LaToya says her 12, 9, and 7-year-old and herself were possessed. It would come and go without warning, but no mistaking when it did happen. Their eyes would bulge out of their heads. Their grins were devilish, and they would growl and speak in cryptic words.
WTF?
And phrases. Yeah.
What?
That's crazy, right? And then all of them they'd feel dizzy and get severe headaches. Like even other people that were going in there were like, my head, oh my gosh, it's like killing me. So LaToya finally seeks medical attention for her children. Well, the doctor says he was scared because the children were coming. Oh, the kids were coming in with like bruises and stuff.
Really?
And needing stitches. And so he wrote he was more scared for the children, for their family life due to delusional and hallucinations.
So he thought they were being abused.
Yeah, being more afraid for them mentally and supernaturally, because he, along with others, were starting to think like she is like spiritually fucking with them.
Right.
And so like putting these ideas into their head, and no. So that's when he was like, go to the ER, and then they called DCS, so Child Services, 2012. Child Services, the doctor, a psychiatrist, there were like, and a nurse. There's like 4 or 5 people. Oh, and then the mom and the grandma are in this room at the ER at the hospital.
Okay. And
this is what I mean. This is like the part where it's like, some of this might be real because this is freaky. But anyway, okay, so all these people are in this room, and the social worker's name is Miss Washington. The 7-year-old starts growling at the 9-year-old. And he says, it's time to die.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. At which time the 9-year-old throws his head into the grandmother's stomach. She's holding onto his hand at this point. Uh-huh. And he like dives into her stomach. She grabs his hand, and the kid starts walking backwards.
Right.
Starts walking up the wall.
What?
And then up the ceiling.
What?
And then comes back down and lands on his feet. Yeah. And so while that's happening, he starts climbing the wall backwards.
Exorcist.
No kidding, right? Like he's an animal. Like he's like,
oh my God.
He's a thing.
So this is corroborated?
So yeah, they actually talked to the social worker. She won't even go near it. She left. Like, I'll tell you what happened to her. But all the professionals ran out of the room. As soon as he starts walking up that wall, they're like, fuck no.
Bitch,
and they're gone.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
No.
And that to me, it's like, because come on, when you're watching movies and stuff and this stuff happens, like people are like, and they just stand there and watch it or something. No, that to me shows
that's a real reaction.
That's real.
I'm not sticking around, bitch.
Right.
I'm out.
Right.
I am out.
And they ran. They took off. Like they want no part of this.
I don't want to catch that shit. If that is contagious, I don't want no part of that.
No. And I should mention, because this is going to be important, throughout the time of this family being in this house, like the police are called often too. So the sheriff is out there a lot because of all the racket and the craziness that's happening there too. And he's going to be playing a part in this. So with everybody freaking out and the kid
like still have this mental
So the kid comes back down to the floor. He kind of like comes out of it, and he doesn't recall anything happening. So something clearly comes into those kids for that second and consumes them, and then like, you're welcome for freaking the shit out of you, and we're gone. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So, and the grandma never releases the kid's hand. Like, she's holding on to him the whole time.
Like, get down here.
Like, I'll just guide you. Like, I would have let go of that hand so fast. I don't know how I would have reacted, to be honest.
Oh my God. I'm just like,
yeah, pretty scary, right?
Scary.
Okay. More scary. Okay, so the social worker did a home visit with the police. So they show this. Like, okay, so this home visit they were going to do was like to determine, is the mother fucking around here? Even though they just experienced this, so they all saw this.
Right.
I think this was more like just we just got to cover all our bases kind of thing.
Okay.
Although she didn't want to go in there.
Who could blame her?
No. But anyway, she went in there and with the sheriff and I think with some other people. Yeah. A priest.
A very big cross?
Yeah. No. And they found that the mom was doing everything right. There was no evidence of emotional or physical abuse. And in one story that I saw, they were like, they took the kids away from the mom. But I read a bunch of stories. That's what I mean, where we see conflicting stuff. I didn't see anything. They even have on one site the sections of like her report.
Right.
And it doesn't state anything about her being a bad mom and them wanting to take the kids. So I'm going to say they never removed the children from the house.
Okay.
The police have been dispatched often to the house as well. Okay, Gary Police Captain Charles Austin, a hardened 20-plus year vet of the police force. He was a little shaken.
Well,
okay.
Okay.
No, listen, this is freaky. After one evening, he went to the house. He leaves the house. He's driving down the street. He pulls over. He's making a phone call or whatever. And while he's on the phone call, his radio changes by itself to an AM station, and it like cranks all the way up, so it's blaring loud. And a voice says, "Who in there?"
oh my God. I'm going to have nightmares, Carlene. Carlene.
Hey, I live alone. You don't think I've been scared?
I am going to be holding very tightly onto Albert, and he's going to be like, what the hell?
That Carlene's going to come. Can I snuggle?
Spooky threesome.
Yeah, Carlene used to snuggle. She's scared. All right. People who had contact with the house all had tragedy. Okay, so here's another thing. There's a couple things. So first I'm going to tell you this, and then I'm going to go back and kind of...
Okay, well, you've already...
Okay, so I know you thought I run the story for you, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought you did,
but
I'm
didn't.
like more freaked out than...
I know. I'm good at what I do. Okay, so the social worker, she had contact with the house. Mm-hmm. And after her contact, she was like, no, here you go. Keep your kids, keep your house, do whatever. She was on a motorcycle ride.
Oh my God.
And, wait, okay, hold on. I have to finish telling you this part. Then I can tell you about the social worker. Okay, hold on. Okay, so the previous renter, when talking with Zach of Ghost Adventures, was saying, well, she was walking through the house. She said, well, she had a dream of somebody dying. And then shortly thereafter, I want to say it was her brother or somebody, a family member staying in the house with her, died in the back room.
Ooh.
And then something else I read was saying that it was one of LaToya's family members. But that chick, I'm pretty sure she said it while walking around with Zach. So we're going to go with that story.
Okay.
What they're saying is like anybody who has contact with that house, something bad happens to them. Mm-hmm. Did you just hear that? Do you hear the growling? That's Alma growling.
It was so shorty.
Alma's possessed. Okay, so the social worker, so they decide they're going to do a...
Foosball is the devil.
I like the accent, too. Oh, hilarious. Okay, the social worker was present when father... Okay, so here's the priest. Here's the thing. It's not very easy, evidently, to perform an exorcism.
Right.
Priests have to get, like, bishop approval.
Right.
And so, I told you, like, the churches weren't interested in helping her. Well, she finally got this Father Magano? We'll go with that.
Okay.
Anyway, to perform a Catholic, I don't know what that is, a Catholic bishop-approved exorcism.
Oh my God.
Okay, but I guess it had to be performed like 3 different ways, and like one's Latin, then the other 2 or something.
You know,
and one
in case
of them,
they didn't get it the first time, you know.
well, what I'm assuming is one has to be in English, one has to be in Latin, in case the demon
Doesn't understand English.
You know, they're bilingual. And then we cannot be, we have to, everybody deserves equal.
Did they do another one in Sumerian?
And in French. And, but then they also did an exorcism on LaToya.
Okay. The grandma.
No, the mom.
Okay.
Okay. I'm starting to get a headache.
Okay. Should I
my
light some sage?
My head hurts.
Stop it. Stop it.
I do have a dull headache right now. It's
You're
weird.
freaking me out.
All right. LaToya soon after. Okay, so she got her. Okay. That's amazing. Speaking in tongues. Okay. Okay, so soon after she felt as though something had transferred. I think what happened was the social worker felt something transfer into her.
She got an attachment.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then in a few weeks later, she was burned in the motorcycle accident.
Did she die?
No. She broke her ribs jet skiing after that, and broke her hand and ankle in 2 other accidents. Yeah, like weird shit just happens.
Right.
So that's what I think, like that's what she meant, like something went into her. Some say LaToya was cursed by her boyfriend, like I told you, you know, like her boyfriend. Oh, no. Okay, so here's another rumor. This one I wrote down later, and then that's when I stopped writing because shit just kept getting all mixed up because there's so many different stories of this and that. Some were saying that her boyfriend was married. She didn't know that her boyfriend was married, but the wife contacted her and was like, hey, bitch, that's my man. And then LaToya was like, take him. I didn't know.
Don't tell me she was a witch or something.
Well, the chick placed a curse. Yeah. And that's what they're saying. All that activity is not from like what I heard. I think I saw it on the movie that Zach did, was that it came from the boyfriend.
Right.
Because that's what somebody said. But this one is actually the boyfriend's wife yelled, you will regret ever messing with my husband, before hanging up on her. But that doesn't sound like a curse to me. That sounds like, bitch, you're going to regret ever messing with my husband.
I'm going to kick your ass.
Fucking whore. But she didn't know, supposedly, that he was married. He's a real scoundrel.
Sounds like it.
Anyway, so then in, I think it was like 2016, I want to say. I think it was like 2014, and then a couple of years later, he went and looked at it. But anyway, Zach Baggin? What is it?
Baggin.
So he's a bragging.
Bagans. Bagel.
Whatever. What? Now I'm bugged up. I don't know. Anyway.
Baggins.
Yeah.
Bag boy.
Is that
I don't know.
Anyway, from Ghost, what is it? Adventures?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I always want to say the other one. Anyway, he buys the house. His agent, like his, I think his manager or somebody's like, dude, there's this house. Because if you don't know, he also has a show, which is very stupid. And in my opinion, I'm constantly going, that is the dumbest thing you can do.
Right.
Is collecting these cursed artifacts, basically.
Right.
And so it's very irresponsible of somebody to do that. But whatever. Okay. Do you, boo. Anyway, he decides he's going to buy this house for $30,000 or $35,000. Super cheap.
Oh, yeah.
For a reason.
You think?
Yeah. But he's making a killing because he did this whole little movie on it. And the movie seems to be doing pretty well. It's on...
I've never seen it. I remember like seeing advertisement for it, but I never saw it.
Is it on Hulu? It's on Hulu or
Prime.
Prime.
I might have to watch it.
Yeah. It's on one of those.
Do I want to
Prime.
watch it?
Okay, listen. I was afraid to watch it. Because, you know, I know how dramatic he is and how they're going to put
They're
all
always
this
provoking.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to put all this scary stuff in there. So I wanted to watch it with you. But I was like, you know what? Okay, it's broad daylight. I'm going to give it a try. And if it's too scary, I'll shut it off and call Alma.
Or your guides will shut it off for you.
Or they would have. They would have. They definitely would have. But they didn't. I watched it. And no, he's his normal trauma, But here's the thing. So some people think, let me talk about his thing. Okay. Yeah, I think you should watch it. It's not horrible, but it's not. I'm not going to give it like
5 stars.
5 stars. No.
Okay.
So he buys the house. Prior to going into the house, he has a dream of Goat Man. This is the first I hear of a Goat Man. Right? So, yeah, super dramatic. I lost my tissue somewhere. Maybe I threw it out already, but
I don't know. But your cross is hiding
in my cleavage the whole time. Anyway, that's why. Okay, never mind. It's been in there the whole time, though. Okay, so he has that dream. So they go in with their cameras and they're checking everything out. And this, they even have this sheriff kind of telling them stuff. And while they're in there filming, so at some point, they show this shadow going through like the bathroom, and then it kind of like manipulates a cameraman, supposedly. Mm-hmm. So the cameraman's standing there and he's kind of zoning out, looking at his hands all weird like this. And then he starts getting really aggressive. And at one point they show like Zach gets really aggressive with the cameraman, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here, man. Get away from me." And none of them are acting really themselves. And he goes in there with, I want to say he went in there with a doctor. Anyway, he went in there with somebody who had something to do with the house, I guess. I've totally forgot now. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is he was in there with this other guy that's kind of impartial, I think. And that guy started feeling sick, like down in the basement. Right. He started feeling kind of lost, confused. And even he was like, he was doing good being kind of skeptic of things. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so this black mask goes into the cameraman. He starts acting crazy. They go back to the hotel, and the cameraman is like screaming, "Get out of, what do you want with me? Come on." And like trying to get it. And then the cameraman supposedly ends up like, "That's it, I'm out." And he leaves the show. And he doesn't want anything to do with any of that stuff anymore.
Okay.
So he's done. And Zach's like, "Okay, big deal. I'm going to go back to the house and lock me in." So he has them board up all the windows and the doors and everything. And then he waits for it to come around, and it like does nothing all night until about 4:30 in the morning. And then it starts like, you hear the creaking and the footsteps coming up the stairs. And he starts like, "Go away, get away from me, stay away from me," and throwing stuff. And nothing really major happens to him.
Nothing out of the ordinary for Zach.
No. And anyway, he ends up tearing down the house. He's like,
"I'm done."
Yeah.
Nope.
Nobody else is going to have any access to this house. But according to the sheriff, people still go there and do rituals on the empty lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, listen, it's not in the house.
And
if there's a portal,
future,
it's
somebody
in the
is going to build a subdivision.
Yeah.
And they're going to wonder why their house is haunted.
Yeah, really. Okay, then there's also, so when Zach was doing his documentary.
Are you scared, Shorty? I'm scared too.
He went to.
Hold my hand.
I might make you feel better right now.
Okay.
Okay, so Zach went to the family and was like wanting to interview the actual family. And they were like, "No.
We don't want anything to do with this anymore."
That's what it sounded like. Like they didn't want
We're past it.
That's what it sounded like. Because Zach was like, "I had to hunt them down." And to me, I was like, dude, they didn't want to be found.
Right.
Leave them alone. But that's not what it was.
What?
According to what, like, the brother was saying, the brother of the family, they were getting offers. So there's a big producer who wants to do a horror film about the house.
Okay.
And he's offering them some big bucks. So they're not supposed to talk to anybody if they want that deal. So they were like, "Nope, we're not talking to you because they got a bigger deal on the plate. So I'm like, And then somebody I was listening to, I only listened to it for a second, but they were like, well, it could be really legit because they're not out there like getting movie deals and doing all these interviews. Right. But yes, they are.
Right.
So, and they have done plenty of interviews. And I mean, it was national news when this was going on.
I do remember.
Yeah, it was national. It was a big news story, but the family is doing well from it. So
that doesn't necessarily make it not true. I mean, who's going to say no to some money and who's going to say no to offers, especially if you've been poor?
Been poor and could use the money. And if you went through that experience.
Right.
I mean, may as well get something out of the horror.
Exactly.
But when I started doing it and then I started researching and I started going through, I was like, the only thing that they have is the kid going up the wall. Otherwise, it is exactly like.
It's also circumstantial.
But it's almost like they were like, let's just copy this movie. Let's just say that happened, right?
Right. And it's almost like demons don't have any other tricks because it seems like every story, like I just talked about that Enfield poltergeist, kind of the same shit.
Yeah, but I listen. That kind of stuff is so rare.
Yeah.
If something's gonna happen, that stuff's rare. But
it's rare unless you've got scary boyfriend that's conjuring shit up in your basement.
Yeah. Well, because I will say, okay, so you had the tenant before that Zach spoke to, and she said weird shit had happened.
Right.
But then other reports say that nobody else reported anything. So like
previous tenants.
Yeah. The landlord said never in all the years of owning that house.
But would there be though? Would there be if the boyfriend?
Well, no, but here's the thing. I'm getting contradicting stories.
Oh.
Because I'm getting that there were.
Was it? Yeah, because you did mention previous tenant.
And they showed the previous tenant and she said she experienced stuff. But then everybody else is saying nobody did. And they're saying this Ammon's family, they quit paying rent. Like they weren't, I guess if you have demons that, it's like, oh, leaky faucet that they won't fix. My roof is leaking. I'm not paying rent until you fix it.
Right.
So demons, I'm not paying rent until you fix it.
Right.
So they quit paying rent. And so the landlord was like, no, they weren't paying rent. And that's why they drummed all this up because they didn't want to pay rent.
Right.
And so that's a theory. But again, I mean, that chief of police, he's really risking it for saying that he experienced things.
I don't know. If all these people experienced this kid doing this weird ass shit and this dance on the wall.
Right there. That's the one. That's the one thing that makes me think that there's something legitimate. And only because the chief of police, that police officer has said he's witnessed things. You have the social worker,
right,
freaked out. Mm-hmm. You have
there's the power of suggestion with the social worker, the doctor. Especially like
but she witnessed it.
Well, oh yeah, that's right. I was thinking about her accidents and stuff. Because if you tell somebody I cursed you, and then all of a sudden they it's in their head.
Yeah, but no, she was there. Yeah. She witnessed the kids' voices changing and growling, and then walking on the ceiling. So. I mean, she kind of made me, because when I was like, this is all bullshit. And then as soon as that one came up, I was like, Maybe there's truth to some of it and exaggeration to some of it.
Right. There's always some truth in there.
Yeah. Now, the goat man thing.
Yeah.
Zach.
That's Zach.
Yeah. It's
Zach.
called wanting to make a movie and get people to.
You mentioned a goat.
Goat.
What's the first thing people think of?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's funny because right after that, I was watching that and then I started watching something else and I'm like, well, there's the goat man, because it came up again in something else I was watching.
Really?
So I was like, that's interesting.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute. It might have been something that he did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
Because he likes that. Anyway, so just, do your research. That's all I'm saying. I'm
I think the goat is something that he's fucked around with before.
Probably. And it could be coming after him. That could be his own demon. I mean, no different than if we go to a place and we're wanting to hear from somebody, our loved ones are around us too. So we're going to be getting messages from them too. But, okay, so I will say that family has fallen off the face of the earth, I believe, now. Like, they're not
Giving
looking
interviews
for,
or
I don't think so. Mm-mm. And with the house being torn down, Zach's the only one that's profiting anything right now. But I do think that we'll probably hear another movie coming out.
Probably in the future.
Yeah.
I have to look it up on IMDb.
Oh, and the movie that Zach did is Devil House.
Double House. Okay.
I should plug that.
Is that on
Being
Netflix? Or Prime? Or
I thought
Netflix?
I saw it on Prime. Check it out right now. Devil House.
Check it out. Check it out.
I don't even like to put it in my phone.
See how superstitious we are.
I know. Well, I don't even say that word at my house. I don't let anybody say any of those words at my house.
The S word or the L word.
Yep. Nope. Mm-mm.
Shorty.
There we go. No. Now it's pulling up like I want to search for something here. Dumbasses. Dumbass phone. What the hell's wrong with you?
You're supposed to be smart.
Oh, maybe this is it. There. Oh, it's called Demon House.
Okay. Not Devil House.
Sorry,
Demon House.
everybody. So sorry. Yes. And it can be watched on Amazon Prime, Vudu, YouTube, Google Play. Amazon Prime, it's free.
Yay.
Hulu with subscription, not the cheap subscription, by the way. It's extra. Sling TV, and is that Philo or Philo?
Philo? I don't know.
I don't have it. I don't know. I don't care to know. Okay?
Kai.
Oh, well. Anyway, who in there?
Who in there?
I think that's all I was going to tell you about it.
That's a pretty
Did
cool
it scare
story.
you?
Yeah, it did at moments. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh, there is a skeptic.
I don't like it when kids start talking.
Yeah, see, that's another problem I have, though, because kids are innocents and they're all very well protected. So I find it really crazy that would happen to them. Like, the adults are tainted and they can get easily, something can happen easily, I guess. But for the kids, I don't know. That's another reason why. And there is a guy that's like major skeptic on
This whole thing.
Yeah, he's like kind of did what I did, where he's like, well, you know, this or that, or the chemicals in the house and this, and it was making them feel that way or this way. And,
Oh, you mean the Clorox and ammonia?
yeah. He talked about the carbon monoxide and stuff,
Oh.
making them a little crazy too.
Well, and I mean, it hasn't been unheard of. Like, if you think about the Salem witch trials, all those young girls that were accusing innocent people of being witches, and they made up these crazy, crazy stories. So, I mean, kids have very big imaginations.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm still stuck on the
kid walking on the ceiling. I mean,
Yes,
I can't get past that either.
sorry.
That's like, if
I'm
that's
sorry.
real, and you have
if there's all those witnesses,
doctors, nurses, police officer, social worker, they're not gonna put their reputation on something like that.
I mean, like you said, there's probably some truth in there somewhere.
I think there's some exaggeration and there's some truth.
Right.
That's
And you
how
never know. And just because people never experienced anything in the house before doesn't negate the fact that it happened to this family. It could just be because of what you said, the ex-boyfriend or the girlfriend or wife, whatever.
Like I said, I've had my experiences with stuff.
Let's not talk. Because I'm like getting like...
Okay, but listen, if any of you do have experiences that don't feel good, change the channel. Don't pay it attention, because that's what it wants. It thrives on your fear. It thrives on your sadness. It thrives on your negativity. It thrives on that. So if you like change it and you ignore it and you don't give it, it'll move on to somebody who will pay it attention. That's my wisdom of the day.
Woe to the next person.
Ooh, go to my neighbor who I can't stand.
Go mess with that fellow.
No, yeah.
right.
Anyway, that's it.
That's good. That was really
I
good.
think we both did. I'm pretty proud of both of us.
We found some good stories.
We did.
Yep.
And then we did not amuse Shorty at all.
No,
though.
she's bored with us.
Yeah.
We made her snore
Yeah,
several
we
times.
put her to sleep. God, I hope you guys are all still awake. Wake up!
Oh, on that note,
Yeah.
we're gonna call it a night.
Good night.
Good night. Don't say anything.
I can't wait to get under my sheets in my bed and
Well-
just like bundle up.
I'm honest. I'm gonna have nightmares.
No, you're not.
Probably gonna have
No.
something.
Hey, at least you have a burly, cute, sweet husband to snuggle up with.
Who wants to be part of our podcast? By the way,
Oh my God, I can't wait. It's going to be so cute.
yeah, he bought an extra microphone, so he was like helping me a few weeks ago when we were having all those technical difficulties,
Yeah.
like try and work out the sound issues.
Yeah.
And he's sitting here and he's on the other microphone and we're talking. And he's like, "Hey, I'd like to sit in and podcast with you guys sometime." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." It's like when we get another microphone, and lo and behold,
Ta-da.
ta-da! I think it was like Wednesday. Amazon makes a delivery.
Oh
And
my
he
God.
like nonchalantly opens it. He's like, "Oh, look."
Oh, hey,
How did
where'd
this
this
get here?
come from? What? What do you know? You have an extra microphone. Hey, Mr. Microphone.
So possibly the next episode he'll be.
We invited him for this one.
We did.
He's like a little kid that can't wait to join us because it sounds like we're having so much fun talking about farting.
Yeah, he's always sitting in the other room while we're in here laughing.
Cracking
at
up.
us.
Okay, he peeked in earlier, and we are silent. We have our headphones on. He can't hear anything, and we're silent laughing.
Because we're listening back
Yeah.
to
We're listening to what we had said, and then we were cracking up so hard nothing was coming out. And he's peeking in. It's like he was totally left out. It was funny.
Play?
Yeah, it was sad.
Aw,
We should let him in.
we should.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to him coming next time.
Alrighty. Okay, well, we're going to call it a night. Hey, guys, if you have any suggestions, if you guys have any of your own personal stories you'd like us to read on the podcast, if you have something that you want to hear us talk about, like hit us up on Instagram or on Facebook, or you can send us an email at tipsytalespodcast@yahoo.com.
If you need to talk to the dead, or you need me to get rid of anything that's icky in your house,
Yeah.
call Carlene.
If you have a shitty ex-boyfriend that put a curse in your basement,
Call Carlene.
call Carlene.
We'll get rid of that shit real quick.
All right, you guys. Thank you for listening.
All right.
I'm
thank you.
Alma.
I'm Carlene.
Talk to you later.
Bye.